Hello, it's Amy Rofale wishing you a very happy new year this January 1st, 2016 in the Friday Red Alert Report for the Jerusalem Connection. We have a new hope, and the force, that is the Spirit, has awakened. As we enter 2016, reports in December of BDS on college campuses and the suffering of Jewish students and Christian students who support them are on the rise. However, there is a hope, and that God is in control of all things, and the Spirit is moving through people in the most unlikely, or at least the most unique places. The American Center for Law and Justice has been using the legal system to make progress in this regard, as well as organizations such as the Maccabees have experienced increased funding and have broadened their outreach on college campuses for educational programs. Social media, however, is a new frontier for the combat on BDS. They seem to have an unfettered platform for open hate speech and anti-Semitic postings and hostings of pages for organizations that propel hatred against the State of Israel or the Jewish people. Many of these platforms remove and censor hate speech in other regards, but those in support of BDS or against the State of Israel seem to have an unfettered platform. However, several savvy supporters of Israel are making progress, and they are using tools to strike back against this movement of hate. I've always thought that God has a sense of humor, and that His creation of all emotions has also provided the foundation for satire and humor and irony. He will use whatever means necessary to further His will, and that might include social media, satire, and irony to oppose this evil. I think the Lord would use secular folks, Jews and Christians, and anybody else that we've seen this in history over and over again, to make sure all things work together for good. So when an anonymous social media troll, pen-named Daphne Gaffney, posts to BDS sites ironic and satirical messages, she, assuming it's a she, has been eliciting some very revealing responses. What I mean by the term troll is that this Daphne Gaffney will go onto home pages or Facebook pages or Twitter feeds for certain companies such as Apple, entertainers such as Roger Waters, who's an outspoken anti-Israel BDS supporter, and other agencies that seem to reveal a discrimination against the State of Israel. This Daphne Gaffney will post what seems like serious, often misguided, or perhaps containing typos so that keywords and terms pop up in the post that will then feed into these pro-BDS sites and be posted on their pages. She does this on purpose in order to elicit responses from people who support those pages, and those responses reveal a lot of interesting facts, including the fact that some people are duped into thinking they're supporting a humanitarian page. Other people are simply full of hate and don't want to see the hypocrisy in their ways when they respond to her posts. For example, Daphne Gaffney posted on Roger Waters' Facebook page an invitation to do a concert in Israel. And of course, she, tongue-in-cheek, posted that the venue would be an abandoned Palestinian refugee camp village and that they've cut down olive trees in order to expand the venue for more seating. She posted to Apple's page, Apple being notorious for having supported policies against the State of Israel and supporting BDS policies, that she was a Jewish mom in Israel looking for a good camp on work ethic, and she understood Apple was sponsoring camps in China to teach children work ethics. Of course, then people started responding about how it's not a camp, it's a slave camp, it's child labor, and all sorts of things that revealed the truth of what was going on with Apple, or at least an angle of looking at a portion of the truth that reveals the hypocrisy of the company itself. So this Daphne Gaffney, being a man or a woman we don't really know, has only admitted to being a resident of Tel Aviv. But what I found so unique is that this was a way, just another facet of combating what is out there. And it was a very unique way, still is a unique way, of pulling out truth and revealing context, but using a tool that many of us didn't think to use. And that is satire, irony, even humor, to pull out truth so that the world can see what's going on with a particular company or celebrity or agency that these Daphne Gaffney posts go to elicit the responses. As we make progress in 2016, the American Center for Law of Justice, which I'll report on again in coming weeks, has been making progress using the legal system in America to combat actions against Jewish students on college campuses. The Maccabees and similar foundations have also had increased funding to expand their reaches on the college campuses to support the Jewish students and provide education and enlightenment. Celebrities will continue to use their powerful influence to support Israel against the tide of a largely anti-Semitic Hollywood. Hope comes in all forms, and of Christians and of people of any faith, we necessarily understand that we cannot be blind to the full repertoire of tools that the Lord has to use to further His will. I will bless those who bless Israel is a verse in the Old Testament, and it's not a message only to modern-day Christians. It's a message to everybody who is seeking truth and seeking to serve the Lord. Happy New Year, Shavua Tov, and Shabbat Shalom.